Oh yeah.
anything. So really, this is the time to get in there, and it's like I bet you'll be able to like
Oh,
this will be in movie theaters soon.
oh, look who's here.
Hello.
Ray
What's up?
Parker Jr., welcome to
A
the
few
stream.
technical difficulties, but I made it work, and I think I got.
Awesome.
We have
Yeah,
them all the time.
Zoom's, it's all
we
a
do
nightmare.
It every week and we still have it.
Welcome
Thank you so
to.
much for joining us, both of you.
Yes.
We really appreciate it. Our chat here is going crazy. We listen to you every week, and I was just telling Francis about this that the other woman, that music video, as a kid was a bit of a sexual awakening for me, and I just I'm very excited to talk to you and just
I mean,
say
I
thank
turned
you.
her on a little bit, or what happened? What we talking about here?
What was that? Yeah, you know that?
That's
As a kid, I was a bit. I was a horny child.
Jackie's trying to be as
oh my
reserved.
God.
She's trying to be as reserved as humanly possible right now, but she's
Exactly.
just
Well,
been.
you know what? My wife said she had that album when she was a
Did she
kid.
really?
That's what
That's
got her started with me, and I married her. So I would have married you first, but I saw her first. I missed you. That's all.
Jackie! Oh my God.
I want to say thank you so much. I know right now it's hard to like come on and do something like this because it's so silly, but I just really thank you so much. We're so excited to talk to you about. I mean, of course, this song, the Ghostbusters song is great, but you're just your career is so vast, and you are such an impressive human being, and I can't believe I'm talking to you right now.
Well,
so
thank you.
I sent all my questions to hold it because I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna contain myself.
Yeah, you sent it to me like I'm some sort of like publicist or something like that. I need to clear your questions, Jackie. But they were honestly, I had to edit them a little bit because they were filthy. But
I don't care. She can say whatever she wants to say. It's cool. This is online. This ain't G-rated. It's online. We can do it. Yeah.
Dude,
it's not being recorded, and we won't see it. Don't worry. We're not up on NBC.
Chad is freaking out right now, by the way. All the people watching are losing their minds. I mean, I don't even know where to be. Do you want to start, Jackie? We have a few questions. We just showed the trailer for the movie. And if you're wondering why this other guy is here, he directed the film. And I'm so excited to check it out.
Francis is also here. Yes, and thank you. And also, by the way, my name is Jackie, and thank you guys both. I didn't even introduce myself.
And Holden, nice to meet you. And every week, we get incredibly drunk on a live stream to help people forget about the horrific bullshit that's happening.
Exactly, yeah.
All over the
just
place.
Try to put a smile on everybody's face and just have a good time and joke around, because there's only so much you can do right now that actually puts a smile on anybody's face.
And a lot of it, and most every week, someone donates, because people donate for us to play music videos and things and hang out. And someone donates for this weird mashup of called Bustin' that's on YouTube that I was told you were shown what happens, and we dance around like assholes and chat freaks out, and it's just been such a central part of our joy on this stream. And so it's just such a pleasure to have you here. And what's hilarious is I'm probably going to ask you very little about any of that. And really, I'm just so curious what Stevie Wonder was like to work with. And
Chaka Khan, how do you I of course, like, your wife is absolutely beautiful, but it's like, how was the tension between you and Chaka Khan?
Let's just tell. I'm going to tell you the truth now.
Please.
When I first met Chaka Khan, I thought it was after I wrote the song "You Got to Love" and she sang the lead and finished the words. And she reminded me. She says, "Oh no, that's not where we met. We met backstage in Chicago at a Stevie Wonder concert." And I guess at that time I was a little. Well, I'm not going to use the word you use, but I was interested in other things. And so she wanted me to listen to her demo tape. I told her, send it to San Francisco. I live in San Francisco, which I did, and I live in Detroit. But I was blowing her off because she was not cooperating with what I had in plan, for the evening. And then I just said, isn't that interesting how karma comes back around? I'm sitting there blowing her off. And then the next year I write the song. I could have owned the whole band. She wanted me to sign her. She was begging me to sign her. I just kind of blew her off.
You blew her off?
And so, she forgave me for that, and we've been friends ever since. But it is ironic. When I first saw her, she had such a shape in that body and everything. I just, I was young at the time. I was only 19. I had other plans for her. That's all I can say.
I think we're all putting down the same thing here. I appreciate your candor.
Yeah.
I really do. But that is also so amazing because I imagine at that time, like I imagine probably your entire life, people have sought you out to say, hey, I want to work with you. Are there any other people that sought you out that you just didn't have the time for, or you were in the middle of working with other people that you now?
Yeah, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I was supposed to produce the second Prince record, and I told him he didn't need my help. He was over at my house and we were working on it. I said, this stuff sounds great. By the way, I told the truth. I said, it sounds wonderful. You don't need my help. This is great like it is. I'm going to tell Warner Brothers you don't need no help to put out. So he put out by himself, and that was the end of that.
Wow.
That was probably a bad idea because he would have got rid of me anyway, but we were friends. I would have got at least 1 or 2 albums in and made several $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know Apollonia at that time? Because I know that Apollonia was in the video.
She was in my video first.
Right.
So he met her through me.
Oh, shit.
So she was in my video, the other woman first,
Yeah.
So she was the other woman.
That's why I loved her so much. And then when I saw her in Purple Rain, it I think almost literally blew my mind.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe that she was saying it. I was like, how is this happening? And how is she such a what a beautiful.
Well, we were all friends, and we had the same management company, the same accountant, so we were all in the same circle, So that's how I got on that thing. And then the other big one was Clive Davis wanted me to produce Whitney Houston. He took me to 3 or 4 of her concerts, and I just wouldn't do it. He wanted me to write 3 or 4 songs. That would have been another 10, 15 million. I'm amazed I have any money left at all. I mean, I've done so many, seriously. And then the biggest mistake I probably ever made in my entire life is when I first had my first hit record, Jack and Jill, and I made some money. I wanted to buy a Rolls Royce. And my lawyer said, you only have so much money left after you pay all your bills. I bought my mom a house and all that kind of stuff. And he said, let me sell you Sly's catalog. I said, no, I want the car that Sly was driving on his album cover. Back then, I thought the car was cooler than the publishing. He says, no, buy the publishing. You can redo the songs. If I had bought that publishing, that's probably worth 45, 50 million. Now maybe 75.
Yeah, dude.
And I traded that in to keep the Rolls. I wanted the Rolls Royce, which was a piece of shit car. I mean, it didn't run at all. I ended up selling it for half the price I bought it for, and it caught on fire 3 times, and it was just the worst experience. So,
oh my God! So
just to remind you of
purchase a Rolls.
The moral of the story is Ray's not quite as smart as you think he is.
No.
You just.
How do you look at something and know at that time? Or like we were just saying about Prince, where you're like, you don't need my help.
Yeah.
It would be great. But that's also, it's something that I respect so much about you, where there's so many people in the business that are just there to cash grab, that are there and that, no, you're there to make great music. And if so, like, you're not just there for the money. I think that's so much more respectful.
But I'm poor because of it. But it's respectful,
But you
I
got a
did
smile
it.
on your face.
It's like the guy kissing the girl, and he's about to go to next. He says, "No, I'm not gonna do that." Then nothing happens. He's like, "Yeah, but the bad guy got laid. Somehow the bad guy got laid, and I didn't. How's that work?" But I'm the good guy. I'm the good guy, though. Everybody likes me. Yeah, I'm a good guy.
Yo, I got this question. This is a question I think Jag and I both wanted to ask, and someone already asked it in chat, and I bet you've answered it before in your past because of your track record. But who would you say? I want to make it a 2-parter. Who is like, and I'm sure there's more than one person. Who's like your favorite person to work with creatively on music, on songs? And is there anybody who is crazy? Was anybody just crazy?
Well, yeah. I think one of my favorite people to work with was Barry White, because I really liked the way he recorded and arranged the songs and did it in the studio, and it was always really faster than anybody else, and he was more together than it seemed like anybody else. I mean, he just had a gift of being able to come up with those parts and come up with it quick. And he'd write all the hit songs in one day, just cut them all, The craziest person I worked with, I'm going to say, was Van Morris.
What?
Out of his fucking mind. I mean, excuse the expression. And I mean, like now I'm older and I'm a pretty big guy. I'm 6'3". I'm pretty buffed out. But then I was like 19, 20 years old, and they flew me over to Oxford, England. And he never even let me get my guitar out of the guitar case. He took one look at me and said, "You're a spy from Warner Brothers." And things went south from there. And he just started yelling at me and the whole thing. And it was my first time in England. I was a little intimidated. So I said, okay, you know what? Screw this guy. I'm out of here. I'm leaving in the morning. and we were staying at this big castle in the manor, and it was hot. It was a hot day in England, really muggy. They didn't have no air conditioner. So I'm way down the hall in this huge castle, and I'm sleeping in the bed with no clothes on, right? Because it's hot, so hot outside. I must have kicked the sheets off or whatever. Next thing I know, I get this strange feeling like a ghost or something is staring at me, you know. So I wake up at like 2:30 in the morning, and there's Van Morrison standing over me while I got no clothes on. Now, let's just discuss for a minute what was supposed to happen next. I'm not really sure. You know, but he stood over me a long time. I don't have any idea why he was looking at me with no clothes on, right? I got a funny feeling.
In your room.
I got a strange feeling of what was supposed to happen next. If that had happened, maybe I would be the producer on the whole album. I mean, I don't know. This was a
worth your pride.
You know, this was a really strange thing that was happening there, you know. And I looked up and he looked at me, and then it's like, once I got my eyes cleared, it's like, he's really standing in my room. First of all, he had to find what room I was in, and I'm standing with no clothes on. Anybody else who saw somebody with no clothes would run back, oh, excuse me. But he was just standing there staring at me. I'm like, well, where's this supposed to go? You know? Like, what's next? You know? And he stood there for another 15 minutes before he turned around and left. And so I just thought, you know, that's the strangest thing. You know,
did you pretend to keep sleeping? Were you pretending then for the 15 minutes, or was he aware?
No, I had my eyes open. You know, and he was standing there staring at me. Yeah, I pulled the sheet up a little bit, I think. But I mean, I was like, what's happening here? You know, I just, you know. And so I'm not drawing any conclusions, by the way. So y'all can't say I said any conclusions. I'm just telling you what happened. This is what happened. Draw your own conclusions from what happened.
Was Van dressed? Was Van clothed? No,
yeah, he was clothed, but he was standing over me. I don't know about you. I never went in anybody's hotel room, saw a naked guy, and stood over him for another half an hour. I mean, that's just not my thing, you know.
No.
I didn't do that. Yeah.
Maybe like 5 minutes, but 15 is excessive.
I do that usually.
Yeah.
Hey, I stepped in for a second. Ray, why don't you tell them the story about letting Stevie Wonder drive?
Oh yeah, that's fun. You know, back in the days, you know, Stevie Wonder, when I was in his band, if you didn't do what he wanted you to do, or you did something wrong, you might get a $50 fine, right? So,
damn.
You know, he likes to drive cars, you know. So, you know, there was one day, he thought he was on La Cienega, but we were really in a Sears and Roebuck's parking lot, you know. So I put him in the parking lot, and I said, now look, when I say stop, you stop. When I say go, you go, and you don't hit the gas pedal too hard. And then you turn the wheel to the left when I say left, right, and whatever. And we had a great time. You know, he drove and everything. You know, later in life, I let him drive on the street, like on Sunset Boulevard in front of the Hallmark Hotel. But he likes to drive. You know, I hear I'm not the only one that he drove with. Like when I told this story to some people, they're like, oh yeah, he made me let him drive too. So he likes to drive.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
And of course you do, because I mean, what are you gonna say no to him?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't say no to Steve Wonder. I mean, at one point we were really tight boys. I'd go pick him up, and we go chase girls and do all this other kind of stuff. Yeah. And so we used to get in some serious trouble back in the day. You know, there's one time I thought the police were going to kill us. You know, he kept fussing with the police. I kept telling him, shut up. You know, we're in Detroit and we're going to get killed here. These guys didn't care who it was, you know, but we made it out of that okay.
And then you look at all those near misses. In fact, in the documentary trailer too, where it's just how many times that you just like, your life just could have ended. Your life.
Yeah, absolutely. But except for grace, it could have been gone.
Did you guys have
You're
a funny?
Supposed to be here, and we thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Did you guys have a funny moment at the Oscars when because I know that he took the trophy home and you were up for it? What was there a bit of a
Well, first of all, that whole thing was intense anyway, because I'm his student, right? I'm his pupil from way back. And that year, that was his first time being nominated for an Oscar, and I was nominated along with him. So that was interesting. Yeah. And my record that year sold like 20 times what his record sold that year. Even though it was a nice song, Woman in Red, but I mean, Ghostbusters was like a huge hit at the time.
Right.
And they asked me to perform and open the show. So they did like a 10-minute segment of me performing and opening the show. And I was sitting behind him. He wasn't saying a word. He wasn't saying hello. He wasn't saying nothing, you know. Mm. And then once he won, you know, the Oscar. By the way, had he not won the Oscar, I think that'd been the end of our relationship.
End of the friendship, of course.
Never speak to me again. Ray's done it.
Even though it's not your fault.
Well, a lot of things in life go down. It's not your fault.
Yeah.
But, you know, you're there. You know.
Very true.
Yeah. So you know, once he won, then he came up, turned around, gave me a hug, and told me, you know, if anytime I want to borrow his Oscar, I could. You know, I thought that was most kind of. Yeah, that's most kind. But you know, a little bit of righteousness took place because when I went to England, I beat him and took the British Oscar. So.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
But did he ever say anything about that, or was it just that?
No, that's okay. He won the American Oscar. I mean, he let that slide.
Yeah,
But if it was the other way around, I think we'd have a problem.
Yeah, of course. So are you excited about going to Zurich? I know you guys are off soon to have the premiere of the documentary, which I can't wait to see. I think.
Oh, I'm way excited. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the band and all that kind of stuff. We got a bunch of technical details that I'm going through at the time, but it's going to be wonderful. And we're showing the film, and all the other people that are there. And Fran will tell you, the food's not bad in Zurich. We're going to have some great dinners, some great meals, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. Yeah.
That sounds great. And so what was your favorite part? And this is a question for both of you guys. What was your favorite part about making this doc? Do you feel that this is something that needed to be fulfilled to get your story out? And I know that you guys had met on Hired Guns. So how did this all come to be? Now,
first of all, let me just say, my favorite part of the film is interacting with all my friends who came and said some really nice things. I mean, some of the stuff really brought me to tears and all that kind of stuff. The rest of it, I have absolutely zero to do with. I just did whatever Fran said did. I put it all on his shoulders. He came up with the idea. He followed through on the idea. He was the guy who said, let's build a castle out of not even one grain of sand. And he thought that this was going to work. And so far, we pulled it off. I mean, it's really amazing. So I'll let him take it after that.
Please.
Yeah, my favorite part was interviewing all these. I got to interview Stevie fucking Wonder, right?
I can't even imagine.
It only took it took us a year from the time we asked him till he actually did it, because we're on Stevie Wonder's time, right? So you wait for him. But the one that really shocked me was I was at Ray's studio one day. And we're just hanging out talking, I had a Zoom record. Because you got to remember, Ray has forgotten more than he's, remembered.
Right.
He's been doing it since he was 13. He's 66 now. And somebody's knocking at the studio door, and the door opens up, and it's Bill Withers. I'm like, what is Bill Withers doing here? I play guitar on Lovely Day. Now, you got to remember, I've been interviewing Ray now for 7 or 8 months, and he failed to tell me that he played on one of the most iconic songs ever. So, of course, every time he talks to me, the budget goes up $50,000.
Of course, yeah.
We got to license all this music and everything else, but just meeting all these cool people and hearing his story. And I'll tell you something else funny too, is I try to get people to talk shit about him. Like, give me some dirt on Ray. He's the cleanest guy in town. Like, nobody has any dirt on the guy.
You got to talk to Van Morrison. Get him in there.
Yeah. So I can't get anybody.
Sleep with me.
Yeah. I mean, if I could just get Huey Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe he'll talk some shit. He's got to be mad not making all that money.
Well, I haven't got to hang out with Jackie yet, so give it a second.
I love it.
Dude, there's so many names here I want to ask you about.
For the rest of the year, I can't even believe this.
I know, this is the most insane thing. And I'm looking. I'm like,
TMZ, here we come. TMZ, here we come, baby.
I hope no, never. TMZ is garbage. All of that's garbage. I'm only positivity, baby.
Yeah, there's so many names I'm looking at, just like pulling up like the Wikipedia or whatever. It like blows my mind. Opening for the Rolling Stones. I'm just like, what's this person like? What's this person like? You know what I mean? That's like all I want to do. I mean, and these names like Herbie Hancock, I got to see at Carnegie Hall. He completely blew my mind. That's a name on the list. Tina Turner, Diana Ross. I mean, I'm just saying names to you right now. I'm not asking a question.
Just saying names. I do have a question though. How do you feel about, as someone Holden and myself, we do this show together, but we've been working together in comedy for 13 years, and it is always hard whenever I have my own project to go out on my own because I'm so used to working with other people. So you had the amazing band Radio, and then you transitioned into being a solo performer. What do you think? What are the pros and cons of it? How did you feel about?
But Jackie, is this you trying to tell me you don't want to work with me anymore?
I'm breaking up with you. This is it. Yes,
accurate?
I'm gonna go work with Ray and Fran, and we are gonna go make our own movies for the rest of time, and it's all gonna be vampire themed. I just was wondering which is more fulfilling as an artist for you, or what did you miss from either one? Did you prefer being a solo artist?
Well, I didn't really have a choice. Guys kept quitting the band so fast. And I really only formed the band in the first place to get the lead singers to help me sing the records, because at the time I didn't think my voice was right. I hadn't learned how to sing well enough. But if you talk to Clive Davis, he'll tell you the deal was always just for me anyway. There was never a band named Radio signed. It was always me signed.
And it's Ray, R-A-Y. I mean,
right, it's your, yes.
Clearly
yeah. But Clive Davis, in Clive's mind, he was only signing me. And like he says, he never even met the other guys in the band. So it was always just me. And so that's me playing I wrote all the songs and I put everything together, and it's my studio. And so I had done all the work pretty much.
So really, it must have felt so good though then afterwards to just be like, no, this is my stuff. So I'm sick of having to share this with other people.
The fourth Gold album, I sang for the first time a song all the way through, and that was A Woman Needs Love, Just Like You Did.
Oh, hell yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, we played that to open the
really
show.
Took off. Yeah. And that was my first time. My first time ever singing a vocal all by myself. And, you know, really took off. And the girls liked the sound of the voice and the message and everything. And it just blew up really big.
And I also did want to say my older brother, who I also work in comedy with, he was on the show A to Z. Yeah. My older brother's Henry. He's the fat one that was one of the leads.
He's huge, bigger than the moon, they call him.
Yeah, very big. Yeah. He's a ginger man. And he was so excited that you were, and so he was like, can you ask him if he thought that A to Z should have been canceled? And that, I think, is a joke.
Well, that was a shame, because as soon as I got on it, they canceled it. It looked like it went bye-bye really quick, you know. And so I was like, oh my gosh.
It wasn't you, believe me.
Yeah.
Jackie literally just asked that question to remind Henry, who I think is actually watching at this
Henry's
point.
In chat, he said it was the best episode of season 1.
Okay,
thanks, Henry.
There you go. I do have a question. I don't want to keep you guys too long, too. I don't know what your how much time you were wanting to give to this, but
probably release them soon. Yes,
I am constantly.
I'm gonna go slice up. It's hot outside. I'm gonna slice up a watermelon and try and eat the whole thing myself.
Dude, fuck yeah.
I did that with a pineapple yesterday.
But one thing I wanted to ask, like, as a person who has written music before and stuff like that, or written like lyrics and stuff like that, I'm always fascinated with approach to songwriting. I mean, I feel like I want to ask you what your formula is to writing a hit, but I feel like you're just going to say you never know what's going to be a hit. But
that's true.
Yeah, right. But is there? And I feel like that's what most people say. And the muse of songs popping into your head and whatever, and creating songs can be so like difficult to get a handle on. But do you have any kind of formula to creating? I mean,
most of my stuff starts not with music. It starts with a conversation, either or from another song on the radio that I think they could have done better, or but mostly from conversation like if Jackie or you were telling me about your girlfriend or her boyfriend or something. I'll take pieces of that and say, oh, this part's interesting. Nobody cares about their breakup, but how about this part sounded really good, you know, or this part sounds really good. Then I'll take some of that, mix with some of my own personal things, and then I'll write about it. And so I usually come up with the story first, because I'm a musician. I can make the music, right? I think I can come up with the music, but the story is what really, you know, I think girls want to hear. They like to hear what you're about, what you're speaking about, and what you're saying. So I try to make that interesting first, then I try to put that to music.
That's fascinating. I've never even thought of it like that. So very much a storytelling approach.
Yeah.
Through and through. And then I'm blanking on the other thing I was going to ask Jackie.
I just love even just in the trailer, that clip when I forget who it was. I believe you were on Bandstand when they were asking how many instruments you play, and the first one you said was clarinet, because you said that was the first instrument that you had ever played. Yeah. Do you still play the clarinet?
No.
Are you done with it?
I'm almost 6'3". I look funny holding that little black liquid stick. I'm so done with it. I was done with it by 11, 12. I mean, I gave that up like a long time ago and never tried to play it again. I was just done with it. I mean, never even tried.
And that actually reminds me of the question I was going to ask, which was a question someone asked in chat, which is, were you self-taught on the 4 instruments that they said, specifically the 4 instruments that you play? So I don't know if there's more, but or less.
Well, let me answer that question. First of all, I was taught by my teacher in elementary school.
Okay.
And you don't learn each instrument individually. Once you learn music, you know music. You can apply that to anything. So once he taught me how to read and write music and what chord changes were and the theory and what a minor key and all that stuff. Once you learn that, any instrument you go noodle around with, you know what the notes are and you know how to apply it towards the music.
Right.
I love that. So for you, I feel like it's like learn the math of it and then go in and you can start telling stories and apply it to that.
Exactly. Yeah, very much.
I love that. Yeah, that's awesome. I had a bunch of I was friends with all the band nerds, and so music theory was such a thing they would talk about that I had no idea what the fuck they were saying, but I like really appreciated it. And
now, wait a minute, you thought the band was nerds?
Well,
did he say that? Is that what I heard?
None of us were getting laid, Ray. None of us were getting laid.
The band was all having sex with each other. That's why it was great. I was a theater kid.
He slipped. Hey, Fran, he slipped.
Everyone in chat's upset with me now. Unbelievable.
Believe it or not, I was a band nerd. I mean, I really was. I know it sounds funny, but I was a nerdy kind of kid, a band nerd. And they made me the drum major at the football game, but I had never been to a football game. So I got fired right after the football game. So, I mean, I just was that guy. I was not that popular in school, believe it or not. I was the nerdy kid.
Man, if they looked at you, have you ever go to any of your high school reunions where they're like,
no, nobody liked me. So I never went to the high school reunion. I was like,
well, they're all wrong in their life.
I don't want to see everybody that teased me through the whole thing. I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
You show up with your hot wife and you're just, it's just like, look at me now.
Yeah.
All right. So I feel like Jackie, do you have any more questions you want to ask Ray before we do the thing?
I can't believe that. Thank you guys so much for showing up.
Thank you.
So you've been shown this thing. We're gonna do this thing, I guess, at you right now. Feel free to just sit back and enjoy it. Chat is gonna lose their fucking mind.
To leave.
You can also just be like, I gotta get out of here and leave while it's happening because I just don't. We're gonna put on Bustin'. I'm gonna share the audio with you.
Wait a minute.
Oh shit!
Okay, now let me hear what you're gonna do.
I mean, are you? Yeah, I think we're gonna put the video out unless you want to perform the. Well,
if it's something strange in your neighborhood, who you gonna call?
Ghostbusters!
If it's something weird and it don't look good, tell me who you gonna call?
Ghostbusters!
For Jackie, I'm in love with the other woman. My life was fine, till she blew my mind. Okay, I'll behave now.
That is amazing. Thank you so much.
We got to hear Ray say, "Bustin' makes me feel good."
Oh, please.
Come on.
Bustin' makes me feel good.
Yeah. This is the fucking craziest shit ever. We're gonna put on Bustin' and go crazy now. Feel free to stick around if you want to peace out too, because it's so weird because it's just
so much for coming and both of you talking to us. And please, we will push. I hate to even say this, but it's like we've got the people to push this movie to get you guys for people to see it. So
well,
please
thank
send
you.
us all of the information.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Fran's got all that.
We'll get it from you, Fran. Please.
Hell yeah. All right. We're going to put on Bustin'. We're going to dance you out. Feel free to peace out whenever. And just thank you so much for doing this. And I can't wait to see the documentary. I'm legitimately so ecstatic to not only have you here, but check that doc out. And thank you, Francis, as well. Thank you so much, guys. All right. Here we go.
Parker Jr. Here we go with Ghostbusters.
All right. The most surreal moment one of the most surreal moments of my entire life.
If there's something strange sleeping in your bed,
Bustin's in chat.
let me tell you something.
Oh, that jacket.
If there's something weird sleeping in your bed, oh, let me tell you something. Bustin' makes me feel good. sleeping makes me feel good. I ain't afraid of no sleep. I ain't afraid of no bed. An invisible bed. Freaky ghost bed. Bustin' makes me feel good.
Oh my Lord.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Ray. Parker Jr. I am in heaven right now.
So much.
Well, thank you. I didn't know you could shake it like that, but okay.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
I will say it always shows you how long 3.5 minutes is and how out of shape I am. One way.
I'll tell you what, Mr. Parker Jr., anytime you would like to come back on this stream, you have a golden ticket to return here anytime you want. Just thank you. Thank you
so much, y'all. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Have a beautiful day, and we will see you soon on the dock.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Take care, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Hell yeah. What just happened?